Prequels, sequels, reboots, and remakes. They've been a mainstay in Hollywood for many years, but over the last 10 years in particular, we've seen a massive increase. And with good quality films being few and far between, it's easy to feel apprehensive when news comes out that your favourite film or franchise is being brought back from the dead. That's why I wanted to talk a little bit today about Labyrinth and the sequel that's in the works at the moment. Labyrinth was a large part of my childhood, and picking the videotape out from the seemingly never-ending rows of videos in HMV in 1999 is still a core memory for me. Little Chambers was allowed to pick out one film as a birthday treat, and I remember standing there with a video of Labyrinth in one hand and The Dark Crystal in the other. And thankfully, I went with Labyrinth, as I didn't sleep well for weeks after watching The Dark Crystal a year later. The Skegsies were bloody nightmare fuel. As a child, I was in love with Labyrinth. I watched it countless times. The fantastical creatures, the wonderful songs, the beautiful girl, the codpiece. This film is the epitome of escapism, and even to this day I make an effort to watch it every few years for the nostalgia. So when I heard that they're bringing out a sequel nigh on 40 years after the original, let's just say I wasn't overly excited about the idea. That's not to say the film franchises revisited after many years aren't going to be any good. Take Top Gun for example. I really enjoyed Top Gun Maverick. It was a great film. But that film is an island in the ocean that is Hollywood drivel. However, it's widely known now that Robert Eggers is going to be helming the new project. And Eggers has made some fantastic films over the last 10 years or so. The Witch, Northman, Lighthouse, they were all great films. So he's definitely got it in him to make something truly remarkable. And TriStar Pictures and Jim Henson Pictures are both coming back to produce, so it might just be possible for Labyrinth 2 to join Top Gun Maverick on its little island of awesome as the waves of shit come crashing down around them. For anyone that's unaware of Labyrinth, here's a brief overview. Labyrinth came out in 1986 and was directed by Jim Henson with George Lucas as executive producer. The screenplay was written by Terry Jones, who, if you're unaware, was one of the members of Monty Python, and it stars David Bowie as the main antagonist Jareth and Jennifer Connelly as the lead Sarah. And it's got a whole host of original characters made by Jim Henson's workshop. The film follows Sarah on her journey through a magical labyrinth. She tries to rescue her infant stepbrother Toby from the Goblin King's clutches before he's turned into a goblin himself. Throughout her journey, Sarah faces a series of challenges and puzzles, encountering quirky creatures that try to hinder her journey or help her along it. When it came out in 1986, it didn't do very well at the global box office. It grossed approximately $34 million worldwide against a production budget of around $25 million. And with marketing and distribution on top of that, it was definitely a disappointment at the box office. But much like other fantasy films that came out around the same time that all flopped at the box office like Dark Crystal, Princess Bride and Willow, Labyrinth would find success after the fact during home video release and showings on TV, and would then go on to develop quite a strong cult following. And there's been plenty of fan theories about the characters and plenty of fan art too. And fan art, that's always fun to see. The fact that Jennifer Connelly was only 15 at the time of filming and David Bowie was 39 adds a little sprinkling of creepiness to those images. Lovely. Watching any film back as an adult, you see many things that you simply didn't understand as a child, or catch many things you simply missed. Take this scene for example where we see Sarah's room. It's filled with toys and items that reference the characters and scenes throughout the film. This foreshadows the film's events, but could also be telling us that the Goblin King, the Labyrinth, and all the creatures within are simply just part of a young girl's overactive imagination. But I don't really like this theory. What I edge towards is that the labyrinth itself represents the complexity and unpredictability of life, mirroring Sarah's struggles with growing up. I see that it's not just about the obstacle of traversing the maze, but also about growing into maturity. Journeying through the winding paths of the labyrinth, faced with numerous obstacles and illusions, Sarah's tempted into staying in a dreamlike world of fantasy by the evil Goblin King, ultimately deciding to take the leap of faith, saving her brother and growing up in the process. Sarah's encounters with companions like Hoggle and Ludo help her learn valuable lessons about trust and friendship. She also comes to understand that the journey she's on isn't just about rescuing her brother, but about accepting her role in the world and realizing that she has the power to shape her own destiny. The final confrontation with Jareth symbolizes her internal growth. She can either remain in the fantasy world of childhood or confront reality and embrace her journey into adulthood. It's a really great film, and I can only hope that when the sequel comes out, it treats the original with the respect it deserves. David Bowie's music and performance in this film are wonderful, and I can only hope the sequel doesn't tarnish its legacy and ruin the rewatchability of one of my all-time favourite films. I'll probably give the sequel a watch when it comes out. I'm just not going to get my hopes up. Anyway, thanks for watching. You could leave a like and subscribe. It'll be much appreciated. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Will the sequel live up to the original? Or will it make the never-ending list of crap that's churned up in the hopes of making a quick buck?